Alright, so in part one I talked about, like, what TV shows and whatnot I would love to see for the Imperium. So this turn around, we're going to talk about, like, what aliens, and we'll also talk about, like, some Chaos Forces, and maybe some characters we'd like to see focus on in this, what I'd like to see for Warhammer if and when it comes to Amazon. Anyway, so let's get started. So obviously we'll start with the one I think everyone would agree would be the perfect show for a perfect... And this would probably work best as an animated show, if I'm being honest. This would work perfectly as an animated series, and that is the Orcs. I would love to see a animated show, just a overtly violent, like, Invincible level violent show focused on the Orcs, but have that kind of like that fun Looney Tunes, not like Looney Tunes physics, but like that kind of slapstick we'd imagine from the Orcs too. So yeah, Orcs would work as an animated show best. I kind of don't want them to be live action. I would just want to see them be, you know, it just works better for animated for this show. If they were animated in like CGI or like motion capture for the live action shows, that's fine. In this scenario, that'd be cool. But like for the show, for a orc centric show itself, yeah, I kind of want it to be animated. Now, as for like what I'd like to see from, like what I would like to see from this series, what else I'd like to see from this series is well, actually, let's talk about like what my idea would be. My idea for it wouldn't focus on Gaz Gathal. It would not focus on Gaz at all. It would instead be kind of like reminiscent of the book War Boss by Mike Brooks, where we kind of focus on one orc who's learning to become like and trying to become a war boss in his own right. So I think I would have like a original new. I would have Gaz and other like, you know, notable orcs in the show up in the show. But I would mostly focus on a new character who's trying to become a war boss. So that's what I would do, is have it be a series where it focuses on one orc who wants to be the best that no one ever was. To crump them is his real test. I'm not going to do the rest, I'm sorry. So yeah, I think we all agree that an orc show would be perfect. Next up, I think it'd be kind of like, this would work as live action. The Eldari. Like, I would love to see, as like maybe as a movie, focus on like the fall of the Eldari, like the end of the Eldar homeworld, the birth of Slaanesh, and, you know, see the craft worlds like fucking off before things got really bad. That would be that to me would be a perfect show. I think it would be an absolute banger if we got focused on like Yvrain and the others. The Eldar really would be a great show. It'd almost be like an alien version of Battlestar Galactica, where it's like, think about it, it kind of is. Like, follow me, because I swear I'm making a point here. The Eldar live on craft worlds, like kind of like the ships in the Armada with the Galactica, and basically they are a wayward race that have lost their home to unforeseen forces that they should have prevented, but they instead, you know, exacerbated it and gave it full power, kind of like with the Cylons, and now they're just kind of bumfucking around the galaxy trying to find a new place to call home, while also dealing with existential threats, and the thing that they made is now following them, you know, out to kill them all. Whereas, you know, the Cylons just want to kill them all, Slaanesh just wants to fuck them all and kill them all. Although you could make the argument some of the Cylons in the remake were doing the same thing. So, yeah, an Eldar show would be really good. I would really love to see, I think that would make a lot of sense, and also focus on the Drukhari, too. Now, I think... I wouldn't have a Tau show. Not because I don't like the Tau. The Tau, to me, like, I feel like when you delve into, like, the undercurrents of what they are, it just, like, the whole thing about eugenics and, like, the greater good, and, like, even their own race is mind-controlled by higher beings. I don't know if that would make for a good show unless you want to try to, like, oh, our show's going to focus on two Tau that love each other and want to break the caste system. Do you know how much that would drive the fan base insane? Even, like, people who don't like the Tau would be up in arms about it. Even, that would be one way to do it, but honestly, no one would want that. No one would want them to, like, you know, go... Even though I know some people, that's, like, fan fiction level. That is some... I don't want it, because I don't want that. Like, the whole, like, oh, we're gonna have two Tau lovers who want to break the caste system and, you know, save their race and all that. And I'm like, nope, that is the most fan fiction, young adult shit you could ever do. And I've heard, like, that... Like, I've heard that pitch in, like, Warhammer fan fiction. I've seen it a lot done with the Tau, and that kind of proves to me also that no one wants to do anything interesting with the Tau, whether it be fanfiction or fucking otherwise. So yeah, we're not gonna have a Tau show. Would the Tau show up in these? Yeah, I would have the Tau, either as ally or antagonist. Definitely, like, because the Tau like hanging out with Caiaphas, kind of. It's a long story, so I'd probably have the Tau a lot in the Caiaphas show. But the Tau wouldn't have their own show. They would appear in others as either ally or antagonist. Or both. So, as for our next one, let's talk about... now, we wouldn't also... There also wouldn't be a show about the Tyranids, or a movie about the Tyranids. The Tyranids would probably be, like I said with the Tau, they'd be more of the antagonist. They would be more of... Because you can't really do a show on a bunch of creatures that are essentially one mind. So, they would be a... I would even also have the Tau, not Tau, excuse me, the Tyranids be a way bigger threat than what Game Workshop has been doing with them lately. So actually make the Tyranids like a credible threat, you know, if that's so fucking hard to do these days, Games Workshops. Necrons. Necrons, on the other hand, I think you could get away with doing some shows. Maybe as a movie, do an adaptation of The Infinite and the Divine. I think that would work as a fun movie. I think it would also be cool to focus on, like, maybe not as a show, but you could do this, get away with this as, like, a movie or trilogy of movies, is, like, focus on Imhotep the Stormlord and his, like, his civil war with the Silent King, and also trying to make his own unification by force with the other dynasties of the Necrons. That'd be a lot of fun. I would even love to see, like, an adaptation of The Word of the Silent King, which was where the Necrons and the Blood Angels teamed up to fight the Tyranids. That would be a fun movie. Like, a fun special, at the very least. Yeah. So I think the Necrons would probably... There's a few characters that could work for Necron series. I feel like... Oh, yeah, Chaos. I would probably have, like, maybe shows, and I would probably have, like, movie spin-offs focusing on the other Primarchs. I didn't talk about that with the Imperium video, but I think it would be kind of cool to do, like, stories, like, either as a mini-series or, like, a special movie to talk about the origins of each Primarch, of what they were before the Emperor found them. And I would for Chaos, I think it'd be kind of fun to do, like, if you could do... You know, stories about Angron when he became the Demon Primarch, or Magnus or Mortarion. Maybe do stories on them. That would be a lot of fun. Like I said, Abaddon. Maybe do one episode of, like, a Fall of Cadia where it focuses on him and the Black Crusade. Something like that. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Those are just a few ideas for Aliens, for this Warhammer for this made-up war. Blech, I'm tongue-tied. Sorry. Basically, I'm just throwing out ideas for Warhammer in general, for a Warhammer series in general that may or may not ever come to pass. We'll see how the future holds. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below what kind of shows would you want from a Warhammer TV series? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.